So close, almost there. Yes, we are alive. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in to Wildcards, where we talk about all things that are fast, fun, and furious. And today's episode brought to you by the fine folks at Star Anvil Studios. Ross, would you have like to chime in on that?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Ross Watson. I am the COO of Star Anvil Studios, and we are, of course, the makers of fine Savage Worlds products like Saints and Sinners, Accursed, and we are getting ready to put out the Secret Worlds for
Yes.
5e as well. So,
You know, Ross, I was at the hot dog stand in the corner earlier today, and I heard some of the cool kids saying, "Hey, I heard Accursed is up for sale right now." And I said, "No way, man. Can you confirm or deny this rumor?"
there is a Black Friday sale on Accursed. It's a bundle of everything Accursed, which includes a update to Suede. So you don't fear that you're getting material you can't use. And that is all for $50, which is a hell of a deal. And you can find it at Drive-Thru RPG by searching for Accursed Bundle. And we have a link somewhere as well, but I think that. Oh, thank you, Robert. Robert Newman says Accursed is great. I appreciate that.
Sweet. Well, cool. Hey, now that we have talked about sponsorships, it is my favorite time of the show. It is the time when we play our contractually obligated intro music. Just one moment. That audio video masterpiece you just witnessed assures you, gentle viewer, that you are now ingesting a high quality, high production value podcast, the only finest, ethically sourced, farm to table geeky conversation for your podcast listening pleasure. So thank you for joining us here at the BAM Podcast. We have a very special guest tonight. JM from Savage Universe is here. JM, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Excellent. Appreciate you coming by and gracing our little dog and pony show with a patina of respectability. Thank you very much.
I don't know if I'm bringing that. Ross was like, "You want to drink some whiskey and talk about Savage Worlds?" And I was like, "I'm here."
I'm also full of turkey. I should point that out to everybody.
True. I'm at least 2% turkey at this point. So.
I have tryptophan coursing through my veins as we speak, and I can still taste a little bit of pumpkin pie right back here.
Oh,
yeah. I'm with you.
But it's important to point out, JM is not just some guy. He is, in fact, the manager for Savage Universe, which is Pinnacle Entertainment Group's big webpage. It's a not just a webpage. It's actually a well, what is it, JM? Why don't you can tell everybody better than I can what Savage Universe actually is.
So Savage Universe is this grand idea that PEG wants to ensure that all of our licensees have a path to good advertising. It's kind of, we've always talked about how the license, like the ACE and the SWAG and the fan license and things like the Savage World Media Network license are all, they're bridges. They're not gateways you have to walk through. And so Pinnacle is like, hey, we're going to, put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to create a place to signal boost all of our licensees so that people can know about it. So it's your one-stop website for news on new SWAG, ACE, actual play information. We've got the Savage Worlds Media Network tab, which just has, as we find new shows, we put them on there so that people can find them.
Like our show.
Like your show. We've got a list of ACEs. We've got the SWAG products. We have a calendar with all the upcoming events that we include things like Gaming with Gage's Savage Worlds Adventure Night that they do. So every Monday night on Gage's Discord server, he's running Savage Worlds games, and we post the links to that. So if you just want to jump in on a one-shot of Savage Worlds, you have access to it. And then every Thursday...
You're the guy that coordinates all of this.
I am the guy that coordinates all of this. And I'm just turning this volume down so that it doesn't accidentally make sounds again. Sorry about that. I'm also the guy who runs the stream every Thursday night. Every Thursday night, we try and highlight one licensee. We bring them on. We talk about Savage Worlds. We talk about all the fun things that we do and try and signal boost for them. So my job is to I get to see all the cool things going on in the Savage Worlds community, and I get to read them and then write articles about them and have you on the stream and talk about how awesome it is.
And you're also, of course, a game designer in your own right.
That's right.
Having created some exceptional settings like Jackals.
Thank you.
And a few, can you just give us a few of your highlights?
Well, Jackals is kind of my baby, my love letter to the ancient Near East. It's a fantasy, ancient Near East adjacent fantasy game. Ross and I have collaborated on a number of things together, some of which I don't even know if we can talk about because they're sitting next to the Ark of the Covenant in a box somewhere in a warehouse. But
the World of Myth was actually published, so we could talk about the World.
That's right, the World of Myth, and a great adventure that I'm really proud of, the
Lost Barrow.
The Lost Barrow, which is just a great adventure and a great quick start introduction. I need to just convert that to Savage Worlds for my table. I think
Ross, we played the Lost Barrow, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, I've ran it numerous times. So what did you think of it, Mike?
I had a good time. My kid liked it too. So yeah,
awesome. I don't know. I've written some stuff for Pinnacle, which I think we'll talk about later. I do the line development for 13th Age. I'm the guy who keeps all the plates spinning so that none of them come crashing down. And I've done some work for Torg. Most recently, their miniature adventures that they were releasing. I wrote 3 of those in the first year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So prolific.
That's from Green Onion, right?
No, Ulysses Spiel.
Oh, sorry.
13th Age. Oh wow, I didn't know Ulysses has 13th Age now.
Oh no, sorry. I thought Torg is Ulysses. 13th Age is Pelgrane Press.
As I say, I thought it was Pelgrane, so I was like, what?
Yeah. No. That's Pelgrane.
Okay.
Hey, if I can squeeze in for just a second, the link for the Accursed Holiday Bundle is in the comments of our podcast, and I will work it into the show notes here momentarily. Just wanted to throw that out there. So,
thank you, Mr. Lafferty.
I'm here for support, sir. So go check it out now on the Blackest of Friday sales. You can pick that up, and it's full of all kinds of awesome horror fantasy action for your Savage Worlds needs. So.
Make it so, Mr. Lafferty. You can't see, if you're listening to us and you're not looking at it, you can't see, but Lafferty has a background of the original Enterprise, so I was making a Star Trek joke there.
I'm giving her she's called Captain.
Damn it, he's a podcast host, not a doctor.
Speaking of not a doctor, so JM, you were telling us what Savage Universe is.
Yes.
And I think you gave a pretty good breakdown of it. It has been a success so far, do you think?
Oh, I think so. I am currently booked through February for articles and interviewees. Our streams are constantly some of the highest viewed that Peg or Pinnacle puts out. The response from the community has been overwhelmingly positive, and which is just great because like I said, I get to interact with the community. If you guys have anything out there, if you're watching and you're like, hey, I've got something that's on swag or a fan supplement or anything related to Savage Worlds, go over to savageuniverse.com down at the bottom, or just email me at info@savageuniverse.com or jm.defogi@peg.inc or peginc.com. Any of those you can get to me. I would love to have I'd love to have people on the show. We're gearing up right now. February is a big creative. We do Fast, Fun, Furious February, or the unofficial Discord server does that, and we're going to have people on. We're going to talk about it. It's this big creator month and this push for free Savage Worlds content, and I'm going to have a couple of people on to talk about that beforehand to kind of set it up during the month of February. So it's going to be awesome.
So I'm going to say something, and it's going to be nice, but before I say it, I have to do full disclosure. JM and I are not only like personal friends, we've worked together on a number of products, and I have worked on a whole bunch of Savage World stuff, including Terror on the Dark Frontier and the Thousand Islands for Savage Rifts, which are, I think, the most recent ones.
Which I'm so excited about getting. There's a spot on my shelf, like right
yeah,
here.
Same. I can't wait for them. But so with that out of the way, having said that, I have a intrinsic bias. I personally believe that Savage Universe is a fantastic step in the right direction, and of course, this year has been tumultuous for a number of RPG companies.
Yes.
I think the best example is WotC, that took a step away from third-party creators and had to be hauled back. But Pinnacle's doing the opposite. Pinnacle is stepping forward and saying, "Hey, you guys are part of our ecosystem. You are something that helps drive sales of our core products and our secondary products, and it's good for everybody."
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Savage Universe, is that it is not only friendly for the licensees, which is great, as you know, I am Star Evil Studios.
You guys.
But it's also, in my opinion, it's pro-consumer. It's good for the people who want to play Savage Worlds, because it gives them more glimpses into things that they may want, or things that they might be interested in that they wouldn't otherwise find. And it's coming from the companies, coming straight from Pinnacle. This is not some ad hoc group of third-party creators trying to come together and make something happen. This is the hand has been outstretched from Pinnacle to grab the third-party guys and pull them up, and I think that's great.
Yeah, we never really had a thing for swag, and the Savage Worlds Adventurers Guild, it's on Drive-Thru-RPG, but it can be very quickly overwhelmed by the noise. The signal to noise ratio on Drive-Thru-RPG is skewed away from small community content. And while we had our list of aces on the Pinnacle website, it's kind of buried, because obviously Pinnacle is Pinnacle focused. And so to have something where it's just focused completely on the licensees is, I think, pretty unique in the industry. And like you said, it's reaching out a hand and saying, all right, we want to cut through the noise. We want you to be able to find the cool things that everyone's doing. So I'm looking forward to having Alb on, because Alb does so much stuff for the Savage Worlds community. And again, this Creator Content February event is coming up. And I just want to make sure everyone knows, hey, this is a way to get noticed in the Savage World arena.
That's kind of analogous to sort of a zine quest for Savage Worlds creators, right? A lot of promotion from Peg, and just trying to highlight small free content to kind of raise awareness.
It's worth pointing out that Mike Lafferty has his own gaming imprint, which is called Fainting Goat Games. And
you remembered. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, Russ.
Well, it's how can I forget Cocaine Owlbear?
How can any of us forget Cocaine Owlbear?
But Mike Lafferty, as a guy who has his own, gaming label, how do you feel about the Savage Universe program?
I want to say, I think JM was kind enough to have one of my creators on earlier this year to talk about the after. I think he had Sean Noakes on, maybe talk about that.
I think so.
That was really awesome. Yeah, it seems familiar.
It has been a year.
Yeah, a lot going on. I understand. No, I think it's a great thing. I've been doing third-party RPG publishing for 15 years now, and some of that time you're laboring in the salt mines under bigger RPG systems who don't care so much if you exist or not. I'm not going to name any names. It's a breath of fresh air to be working with Pinnacle and have them trying to boost the signal and lift up smaller publishers and get some attention there. So it's been a great thing. So Ross, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I wanted to hear make sure you had a chance to talk about it. So is there anything coming up besides the thing in February? Is there anything coming up big that we should be keeping an eye out for or from Savage Universe?
Ooh, well, we've got some things in the works to expand the content. And not just, let's see how well I can talk around this. This is really more, Chris Landauer is really the Tom Holland of Pinnacle in the fact that he just gives spoilers out all the time. But there's something coming. I know he's mentioned this on a stream before, so I can say this. We want to just not only encourage our licensees, but also our GMs, and provide a way for our GMs to really highlight what they're doing and get players to their tables, and maybe make a little side hustle cash as well. And that's another project that I'm dovetailed into. So hopefully 2025 or 2024 is the year that we launch that.
Super cool.
This is kind of a boost for online GMs.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
You know, I was actually thinking about online GMs just the other day because it strikes me, you know, as game designers, all three of us, which is interesting, all three of us on this particular show are game designers in our own right, and we all know the balance that must be maintained between depth and complexity, because too much complexity ruins depth. Tabletop games can only handle really so much complexity. But what's great about VTTs, and I think this is the future, is that VTTs can handle a lot of stuff behind the scenes. They can track a bunch more stuff than humans can, and simplify that down to a few clicks or an icon or two, right? So I think that maybe VTTs, like, the real benefit of them, not only for obviously being able to run games remotely across the country, but also for game designers specifically, is that it may offer more opportunities for crunchier rule sets.
One of my favorite 4th edition D&D games I ever ran was on Roll20, because it kept track of all of the behind the scenes math that nobody had to remember. Wait, do I have a +2 to this? Is this aura still going on? What's going on? It just handled all of that. And not to go down a rabbit hole, but I think it's one of the big failings of 4E was that it launched with the promise of a VTT, and it never came about. And the game was designed with this VTT in mind. And so I think it took risks that today we wouldn't find as risky, but 20 years ago, whenever it launched, man, I'm old.
2008.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, so that would have been 15 years ago, as a matter of fact. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, no, I love that about.
Chris Kirby says, "Sorry, I'm late. Can you start over?"
Welcome to Wild Brought
to you this evening by Star Anvil Studios. Russ, anything to say about that?
Welcome to 20 minutes ago. I don't think we can start over, but just to bring anyone up to speed, JM is the manager for Savage Universe, which is the portal to all things licensee for PEG, for Pinnacle Entertainment Group. And I think he was going to tell us about some upcoming products for.
I can do that, yeah.
For Pinnacle, because he mentioned before the show, he's like, I've got a few things I can drop, and I'm like, oh, I want to hear.
Yeah.
So, is this the Beastmaster RPG?
Man, I.
Oh my God!
It comes with 2 ferrets in the box.
Can you imagine how cool that would be?
You have to pay for premium shipping, otherwise I cannot guarantee what state these ferrets will be in or your books will be in when they arrive. I actually, just to go back to the VTT thing for a second, I think it's one of the interesting fallouts of Baldur's Gate 3 is that so many people are realizing they haven't been playing 5th edition rules as written because it handles so much of the rules as written, but people are like, why is it doing this? Oh, wait, that's the way the game was designed?
The horrible truth is when you get to a rule set of a certain complexity, then it doesn't have to be a real high threshold. Everybody starts house ruling. And we don't want to admit it, but an awful lot of folks start house ruling at a certain threshold.
Oh, yeah. So. No, 100%.
Hopefully someone is paying Larian Studios already about a Savage Worlds.
Oh, man. Could you imagine a Deadlands RPG done by Larian?
Woo! Night Train.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I got to interview John Goff, and
so did we.
He's a great guy to interview. And James from the Knights of the Smith Dinner Table asked me to get
him on too.
GM James, yeah.
So did you watch his Night Train one shot?
No, I did not.
He asked me to get John Goff to say on the stream, then I clipped it out for him. You've just been goffed. And so anytime a player died, he played that clip.
Wait, players were dying?
Oh,
this is
what?
a very different stream.
This is strange. Yeah. Oh, players. Sorry, characters. Yeah. It was like Squid Games, but with Savage Worlds. So yeah, I've got a couple of one sheets coming out. I did a Riffs train job adventure that's coming out for as a one sheet where you discover that Lone Star is behind kidnapping DBs and monsters and fitting them with control collars to basically like make things worse in an area in order to get people to sign on with the coalition. I felt like that was like, and it's, an homage to every train job.
Nice.
I've got a Deadlands adventure about the Colorado cannibal. He is this guy who kept telling people, Al Packer, who kept saying, "Oh yeah, I'll take you through the trails. I know the way," and he didn't. One time, he came back into town with everyone's gear and remarkably fit for having spent the winter snowed up in a pass. And turns out he, ate a bunch of people.
Did you know he was a founder? He was a founder of Colorado University in Boulder.
Was he really?
Yeah. If you go there, the student union, there is a perhaps with a nod and a wink, they have named the cafeteria there in the student union the Alfred Packer Grill.
Wow,
that's amazing. And then we're launching these. They're either launching this month or soon. I know they've been talked about. They're doing Pinnacle is putting out a monthly adventure series called Savage Saturday Night Cinema. And the idea is it's a one evening's worth of adventure. And I think the first one's by John Goff. So
I think my roommate actually wrote one of these. Scott Crossan may have written one because he told me what it was about. It sounds like it would fit right in. So
yeah, that's awesome. I got to write a couple of them. I've got an adventure called The Veil of the Black Knight, which is about going to stop a demonic knight's invasion of the kingdom of Goth, kind of a nod to John. And then the one I'm really proud of is an adventure called The Rite of Spring. Tchaikovsky? No. My brain is going to fail me at this point. There's a famous ballet called The Rite of Spring. And it was so controversial when it debuted in Paris that it caused riots. And I was like, well, that's an awesome story. Like, it was so discordant and so modern compared to what everyone was expecting that even the people listening by like these telephonographs that they had were just angry. Like, people were throwing stuff at the orchestra that I was like, well, clearly this was somebody's right to try and summon an elder god. And so the adventure takes place at the Met Opera House with this new version of The Rite of Spring being put on, and something is getting summoned. And there's an option that if you're a truly horrible GM, you can find a copy of The Rite of Spring on YouTube, and it's 33 minutes long. And I recommend starting it at a certain point and pausing it for combat and just say, hey, this is how long the players have to get through the mystery.
That's interesting. It's like a ticking clock.
It's like a ticking clock because, so I'm proud of both of those adventures. They're going to be coming out at some point in the future. I got to write the GM screen adventure for Necessary Evil 3, which was the return of Dr. Destruction. Sort of a bridge from Necessary Evil 1 and 2 and kind of point in the direction of Necessary Evil 3. So that's actually like out to backers, and I think they released it on Fantasy Grounds. So, once it goes out in the wild, that's when you start getting nervous. But play tested it a bunch and people seem to like it. So I'm looking forward to hearing feedback on that one.
That's fantastic. So is there anything else you could tell us at all? Like perhaps about an owl of some kind, or?
A strange owl, perhaps?
Yes, like that strange owl, perhaps.
Well, so I do have a publishing company that I work with. My wife, Trish, and Tim Brown, who did Dark Sun back in the day. And we have just submitted the orders to ship out Space 1889 Imperium. So backers should be getting those hopefully sometime in December. Which is Daryl, who, big Pinnacle guy. Looking forward to
currently in charge of Savage Worlds. As far as
looking forward to Ghost Mountain. Like that's the next big. After all of the Rift stuff comes in, then I'm looking forward to Ghost Mountain. I've got to with Pinnacle stuff. I have to like carefully curate how excited I get about things because there's a queue.
Right.
You got to only be excited about the next thing in the line. But he did Space 1889 Imperium edition, which is this new edition that sort of is an amalgam of all the other editions, kind of moves the story forward about 10 years. Really excited about that coming out. We did a 5e conversion for it. And then we're currently working on a game called Amboria, Gaming in the World Under Starlight, with a guy named Richard Rowland, who's got, does some universal history stuff on the Symbolic World channel. It's got a lot of poetry in it. The art is going to be beautiful. It's being done by Bob Crumb. There is our man. I need to, that website needs to be updated. But yes, that is the some of the art from the book. Bob is just knocking it out of the park with our art direction for that. And we've got another project coming up in next year, but that is currently in the final stages of contract negotiations. So I can't really.
You're a busy guy, Jay.
I
love it.
I am a busy guy. That's the key, I think, to being a successful RPG designer is just you got to keep hustling.
So Lafferty, we're getting close to our time. So did you have any final thoughts or questions you wanted to ask about Savage Universe?
I really want to know more this Beastmaster licensed RPG that you dropped. Mentioned
okay.
earlier. Are we going to have Tanya Roberts at Gen Con as part of the promotional?
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. I think the plan is to just buy hundreds of angry ferrets and release them with little like QR codes on their backs just into the dealer hall. And if that happens, it's not on me. Somebody's watching going, that's a great plan, and I have a fall guy.
That wouldn't be the worst thing to happen at Gen Con in recent memory. So
that's probably true.
Yeah, at least it's not a Lorcana brawl. So I will say my final thoughts of Savage Universe. You guys already heard. I think it's a very positive thing. It's very, very good for our community. I wish other companies were as proactive and as involved as Pinnacle. And I would argue that Pinnacle is in many ways a standard bearer to follow. And I hope that it works out great for you guys. I'm really proud that my friend JM is in charge of it.
Yeah, so. It's you know what, like again, going back all of those years ago. I mean, we met it at, I think it was Starfest. We were talking about Wrath and Glory, and then we got the opportunity to work on Myth, and that was just like I'm super proud of all of that work. It was a ton of fun working with you. Like we got to game together. Like Ross is not just a guy who theoretically like sits in an ivory tower and theoretically thinks about games. He's like in the trenches, playing games, going to the conventions, doing the playtest work.
No, I hang out with Ross socially at the dog park several times a week. He's a great ambassador for the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I have convinced multiple groups of people at the dog park to play role-playing games. So yeah, I'm kind of an ambassador at the dog park. But
hey, JM, just had a thought come through my feeble mind. If I want to release content for free for Savage February, is that the name of the event?
So it's Fast Furious Fun February.
All right. Right now, as we're speaking to each other, it's November 25th.
Yes.
If I want to do that, I need to move quickly. So let's say I'm a guy listening to this podcast and go, hey, I want to get in on that. Where can someone go to find about the rules or the guidelines or any art assets or layout assets?
So first, tune in January 4th for the Savage Universe stream. That's where I'm going to have Alb on it, and we're going to talk about the setup and everything for it. There's going to be a wiki that goes live. I think I'll get Ross the links to that so we can put them in the show notes. But also the unofficial Savage World Discord is the place to be for fun. I got to do it in the correct order. Fast Curious. Yeah, February. F4. So last year they had a lot of great submissions, and again, it all just goes out to the community. It's kind of a love letter to the community. You get a ton of free stuff to use. You get a bunch of people who have put out a ton of great swag and Ace products. Just going, hey, what's percolating in my brain? Let me put it out there for people. So,
well, what's kind of last question? What's kind of a assortment of what you saw last year?
Oh man, last year we had everything from, there were a couple of people who were dipping their toes in. They put together a couple of edges and hindrances. There were a couple of people who put together a couple of species and adventures. A couple of people did jump starts or, little mini settings. So it really is we get the gamut from somebody who wants to write about 50 words all the way to the people who are, just can't stop writing and put out, an 8 to 12 page product. It really is a chance to just show off something cool you've been thinking about for Savage Worlds.
All right, cool.
Speaking of jump starts, we've got one for Saints and Sinners called Project Alpha, and we've got one for Knights Arcanum, which is called Spider and the Scholar.
Oh man, and the Saints and Sinners stuff is
there's the Alfred Packer.
Oh man,
look at that thing.
That is spectacular.
Yeah, the U.S. Department of Agriculture actually tried to sever their contract with the university over this. They didn't want to provide any food for the grill once they changed the name, but it's a whole thing.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Most college cafeterias serve something that could be, somewhere between Soylent Green and mystery meats. So I feel like at least Boulder is being honest about it.
As Boulders like to do. So,
that's right.
Hey, we haven't mentioned the URL for your website at all this show. So if I want to find out more about Savage Universe,
it's savageuniverse.com. And
perfect.
If you're a new licensee or wanting to be like, hey, I can write for Savage Worlds, what do I need to do? If you go to the join in tab, it has all of the license information. So if you're wanting to put something up for free, it's literally just download this image and put it on your product, and there might be a little bit of text. Savage Worlds Adventure Guild has all the information for putting something out on swag. If you want to be an ace, it gives you everything you need to know at a high level. But with aces, as you guys know, kind of going through the process, we want to see a little bit more from our aces before we give an ace license. So we want to see a sample of art and layout and writing and mechanical design. And again, the thing that I keep wanting to reiterate to people who apply to aces, if you get notes back from us that says, hey, no, but here's why, know that that's not a please never resubmit. That's a take these notes, make these changes, and then resubmit. We want people to come back to after we've given them feedback. That's the whole point of this program. It really is a bridge. We want to know everybody who's working in the Savage World space. We don't want to just have faceless licensees, I guess.
And it is not true that if you beat Shane Helmsley at arm wrestling at any convention, you can skip the line. That is not true. That's a spurious rumor.
I cannot speak to whether that is true or not, but I would say, it couldn't hurt.
Maybe buy him a beer first just to see, but
that's right.
Fair enough. All right, we are over time. JM, thank you so much for coming out today.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks. Anytime.
Ross, any closing thoughts before we call it a show?
Savage Universe is awesome, and I'm really glad that we managed to get JM on to talk about it. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for checking us out, and we will see you soon on our next episode of Wildcards. Have a good night.